Okay, yes. Yes, and everything does show up on the table.
Yeah.
So variables and expressions. An algebraic expression are numbers and or variables added, subtracted, multiplied, or divided. So if you have numbers and variables mixed together using addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, no equal sign, no inequality, then it's an expression. Yeah, that's what an expression is. It doesn't have an equal sign to it, and it's an algebraic one if it's got variables involved. A numerical expression has no variables. It has numbers added, subtracted, multiplied, or divided. We've been working with numeric expressions. We've been working with algebraic expressions when you did some evaluating. So we've already been working with these. Okay, if it's got variables, it's algebraic. If it doesn't have variables, it's numeric. Okay, kind of makes sense. Now, writing expressions with addition and subtraction. So what you're going to do is we're going to take a word phrase and make it into an algebraic expression. You have to be able to go back and forth. One of the biggest issues with word problems is not understanding how to take it from words to variables and numbers and such to be able to solve the problem. How do I write the equation to solve it? How do I write the expression to solve it? This is that first step. So if I have the phrase 32 more than a number x, more than, what am I doing when I have more than? If I have $10 more dollars than you, I take what you have and do what? I add 10. I add. More than means addition. And the variable is given. You're told it's x. So I have x plus 32. Now, could I have 32 plus x? Yeah, because addition is commutative. Addition doesn't matter the order, but we want to do it proper. Proper, put the variable front. Okay, standard operating procedure, you put the variable in the front. That's what we want to do. If on a test you gave me 32 plus x, I wouldn't mark you down for it. But this is what we want it to look like. Okay? 58 less than a number y. Less than would be subtraction, and it would be what? Y minus 58. Why not 58 minus y? So you start with y and take 58 away from that. It's smaller than that. Excellent. Because that's one that gets a lot of kids. That's one that gets a lot of people on that one. Okay? And then if you have 58 less than the number y, you can obviously get 12 less than the number p. Same concept. P minus 12. Are those last two the same if you reverse them? Is p minus 12 and 12 minus p the same thing? No. Subtraction order matters. Order matters to subtraction. 2 minus 3 and 3 minus 2 are not the same thing. So subtraction order matters. Are you with me so far? Okay, writing expressions with multiplication and division. 8 times a number m. This is kind of important. 8m. The multiplication is implied when you put a number and a variable next to each other like that. 8m means 8 times m. They don't put the multiplication symbol in there. It is implied. How many m's do I have? I have 8 of them. If m is a particular number, I have 8 times that number. Okay? When they're next to each other, that's implied multiplication. It's not anything else. We don't put the multiplication symbol in for when we have variables involved. Quotient means what? dividing. Quotient of a number y and 5. Division, order matters. Order matters. 2 divided by 3, 3 divided by 2, not the same thing. Order matters. Y divided by 5. So it has to be, when I have the quotient of 2 objects, it's the first one divided by the second one. Okay, that's important. Good? Oh. Okay. Third set. 3 more than twice the number. If I have twice something, what am I doing? Multiplying by what? By 2. Twice something means 2 times that. 3 more than twice the number x. So it's 3 more than, so 3 plus 2x. And once again, we want to put the variable portion in the front, 2x plus 3. If you gave me 3 plus 2x, would that be okay? Yeah, I'm not going to mark you down for it, but this is how it should look. Standard form. Variables in the front, constants at the end. Standard form. Standard way of writing this. Want everything to look nice, want everything to look the same. Does it really matter in the long run? No, but we want to have it all look the same. Works better that way. 9 less than the quotient of a number of 6 and the number b. This one's, you got to be careful. 9 less than means I have 9 less than that, so I subtract 9. So it's whatever that is minus 9. The quotient of 6 and a number v. What goes on top? The 6. 6 over b minus 9. Notice on both of the division ones, y divided by 5 and 6 divided by b, I did not use a division symbol. We generally do not do that when we're doing algebra. When we're solving things, when we're working algebraic expressions, we wish to write them as fractions. Or division we write as a fraction. Y divided by 5, 6 divided by b. The reason is, when we go to solve equations later, it makes life much easier if we have it like this. It's like we don't mix numbers in here. We do not do mixed numbers in algebra, unless you're answering a word problem and you need mixed numbers for your answer. But if we're working a problem, we want them in proper fractions. It's much easier when you're doing algebra. Okay. These are a little different. What word or phrase represents the algebraic expression? So the first one, 3x. There are a lot of answers that I could write for what does 3x if I'm converting it to words. There's a lot of them, a lot of possibilities. I could do what? Somebody have a suggestion? 3 times the number x. That's excellent. Any other suggestions? I could go triple a number x. That would be 3 times the triple. And go with it twice again. Not a very common one. The product of 3 and a number x. Okay, multiplication is a product. Okay, so any one of those you could do. Put one down. Write one down. Okay. Write down a possibility. I'm going to wait for you guys to do it, but there's more than one. There's more than one right answer. You were given a couple of suggestions. Okay. Put them down. Pick one. Or you can do more than one. No, it's not a hashtag. I hate Twitter. I don't, but it's one of those things. Is like, when did you start, using that? Yes.
It's really annoying when they hashtag every single hashtag best.
I'm not even on Twitter.
Blah blah blah.
But it's the idea of, when I was a kid growing up, that was the sign for a number. The number sign. It's also the pound sign. Yeah, it's still the pound sign. When you're on your phone, they don't say hit the hashtag, hit the pound sign. And, when you're doing an automated phone system thing, after typing in a number, hit the pound sign. They don't say hit the hashtag. I don't like it. That's a personal problem, I'm sure. Okay. Y plus 8.1. I have several options for this one. I could write y plus 8 plus 1 and just write it out. I could put another word for addition. Would be the sum of y of 8 plus 1 and the number y. Could be 8.1 more than y. You've seen examples. This is one where there's a lot of possibilities that are correct. You have to include the 8.1, you have to include the y, and you have to include what is being done to them, how they're being put together. It's more than, it's the sum, it's addition, anything that means that. So in theory, there could be 6 or 7 different answers that are all good. And it's one of the few times in math where more than one answer is good. And more than one correct interpretation of this. I like some, but that's the math geek in me. The sum of a number y at 8.1. Like I said, that's the math geek in me. I prefer sum and product. Okay. The next one, how many things are actually going on in this one? There's 2 things going on here. I have the minus 6, and then I have the 10D. I need to account for both of them. My word phrase has to account for both of them. There's lots of ways I can do that. I could do less than, I could do subtraction, subtract this, I could do all kinds of things. And 10 plus D, 10D would be the product, 10 times D, something along those lines. There's lots of possibilities for this one. Let's see, 6 less than a number less than product of D and 10, only because I'm running out of room. Lots of possibilities. Okay, there's more than one way, more than one phrase that you can write down that will be good and accurate for this. Okay? Yes?
What does that say?
D and 10. 6 less than the product of D and 10. Only because I was running out of room. Okay, not a lot of room to write it in. Okay, ready to move on? I think we are. Okay, problem number 5. Writing a rule to describe a pattern. So I have in the table a pattern. I wanted to come up with a rule that fits that pattern. Okay. The table and picture show the height of the house of cards based on the number of levels. So the table is 24. The height of the cards is 3.5 inches. If I have 2 levels of cards, the The height is 3.5 times 2 plus 24. 3 levels of cards. 3.5 times 3 plus 24. Okay. What is the plus 24 for the height? What does the 24 stand for? The table. The table does not change. That's my table. Okay, so it's always at least 24. Even if my house of cards is laying flat because the wind came and blew it over, it's still 24 inches tall because the table's 24 inches tall. It's 24 inches off the ground. Now, depending upon how good I am at building my house of cards, I used to do that a lot when I was a kid. Just don't know why. I just did. Fun until my sisters came up. Yeah, sisters. I only say that because I didn't have the little brothers to make fun of me. And I didn't have the little sisters. I'm the youngest. Okay. But the 3.5 times 2, 3.5 times 3, 3.5 times 4, this is how tall. This is for the cards, how tall the cards are. 3.5, the height of one card, times how many levels I have. So I got one level, it's 3.5 plus the 24. 2 levels, 3.5 times 2. So if I have n levels, n meaning I don't know exactly how many, but I want to come up with a formula. That's what we're doing here. We're coming up with a formula. So if I build it 10 cards high, 10 levels high, I don't have to count. I can just put 10 in for n and figure it out. I want a formula. Notice where these all line up. 2 cards high, 3 cards high, 4 cards high, n cards high. Where do those go in here? 2, 3, 4, n. So my formula is going to be the height of a card times n. That's how tall the house of cards is. If I build it 3 levels, I put in 3 for n. If I build it 10 levels, I put in 10 for n. Good for you for building one 10 level high without knocking it over. Okay. And it's always at least 24. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to take a minute. There are 1, 2, 3 questions. Answer those 1, 2, 3 questions. Take a minute in your notes. Write out what that means in words. What does the 3.5 stand for? What does the 24 stand for? In words, write out what that formula means. I already gave you some hints to what they stand for. And then how tall would it be if you had 10 levels? And then how would you change the formula? What would change on the formula? What would be different if instead of 3.5 inches tall, the cards were 5 inches tall? Okay, so take a minute, answer those 3 questions. Okay, that should be enough time to get those done. Actually, let me slide this up a little bit here. So, rewrite the rule in words. So, 3.5 stands for what? How tall the cards are. So it would be the height. Is it IE or EI? I before E, which is it. It's height in card or height of cards. And then N stands for the number of cards times the number of cards plus, and I'm kind of shorthanding here, putting in symbols, mixing them just because of lack of room. Okay, plus, what does the 24 stand for? The height of the table. You can speak up a little louder. I know you're afraid to, hopefully you're not afraid to be on the video, but that's okay. It's not your face. And height of table. How tall would the tower be if there were 10 levels? That would be 3.5 times 10 plus 24. Order of operations, bless you, do the multiplication first. 3.5 times 10, 35 plus 24, add those together, 59 inches. Okay. And what would the rule like, bless you? If the car was 5 inches tall? Actually, she's next. Okay. And what would it look like if the carts were 5 inches tall? Instead of 3.5, we would have 5N plus 24. Okay? Any questions on that?